Welcome to our channel, Billion Dollar Brands. Season 1, How They Make Money. Episode 1, How Amazon Earned Billions, from Garage Startup to Global Giant. Part 1, The Garage Startup, 1994 to 1997. It all began with a number so staggering, it made one man quit his job, drive across the country, and build what would become one of the most influential companies the world has ever seen. That number? 2,300%. The annual growth rate of internet usage in 1994. And that man, Jeffrey Preston Bezos. Back then, Jeff Bezos was a senior vice president at a hedge fund on Wall Street. He was smart, ambitious, analytical, and in his hands was a report that would change the course of his life and the world. He saw the internet not just as a technology, but as a tidal wave of opportunity. Bezos made a decision. He left behind a six-figure salary, gathered support from his wife, Mackenzie, and drove to Seattle, scribbling a business plan in the passenger seat of their 1994 Chevy Blazer. His vision, an online bookstore. Why books? Because they were easy to ship, came in millions of titles, and had a universal demand. With $10,000 from his parents and a small team of early hires, Bezos got to work. In a small rented garage in Bellevue, Washington, Amazon.com was born. The site went live in July 1995. It was basic. No images. No fancy design. Just books, categories, and a buy button. Within the first month, Amazon had sold books to all 50 U.S. states and over 40 countries. Orders were rolling in, faster than anyone expected. But success wasn't glamorous. Bezos and his team packed books on the floor. They rigged desks from doors and sawhorses. Every sale felt like a small victory. Every late night felt like a leap towards something bigger. From the start, Amazon's secret weapon wasn't technology. It was obsession with the customer. Bezos made it clear. Every decision would be made in favor of the user. From product selection to delivery speed, Amazon would put customers first, no matter the cost. In 1997, Amazon went public. Its IPO raised $54 million. The company was still unprofitable, but that didn't matter to Bezos. He wasn't building a bookstore. He was building a platform, one that would one day sell everything. Part 2. Surviving the dot-com crash, 1998 to 2001. By 1998, Amazon was no longer just a bookstore. Jeff Bezos had bigger plans to transform his fledgling company into the everything store. CDs, DVDs, toys, electronics, tools. Amazon's catalog began to expand rapidly. The infrastructure had to keep up. To support this growth, Bezos invested heavily in logistics. Fulfillment centers were built across the United States, massive warehouses that would form the backbone of Amazon's operations. He also invested in software. The team built better inventory systems, automated order processing, and refined the website's design. Customers noticed. Amazon's user base was growing, and so were its sales. From 1997 to 1999, annual revenue skyrocketed from $148 million to nearly $1.6 billion. But beneath the surface, there was trouble brewing. Amazon was spending more than it earned. Marketing costs, tech development, warehouse expansion. The burn rate was alarming. And they weren't alone. The late 90s were the height of the dot-com boom, a time when internet startups with no profits were being valued in the hundreds of millions. Investors were pouring money into any company with a .com in its name. But in early 2000, it all came crashing down. The dot-com bubble burst. Stocks plummeted. Companies vanished overnight. Over $5 trillion of market value was wiped out in a matter of months. Amazon's stock fell from over $100 to less than $6. Critics said the company would never make money. Some predicted bankruptcy. Others claimed the dream was over. But Jeff Bezos wasn't done. In the face of disaster, Bezos doubled down. He slashed costs. Thousands of employees were laid off. Unprofitable ventures were cut. Amazon restructured its operations to survive the storm. Bezos also did something few expected. He focused even more aggressively on technology. Rather than just selling products, Amazon began offering its retail infrastructure to others. In 2000, the company launched its marketplace, a radical idea that allowed third-party sellers to list and sell their products on Amazon's website. Competitors scoffed. Why let others sell on your platform? But Bezos knew. More sellers meant more selection. More selection meant more customers. And more customers meant more long-term value. It was a brilliant move. Within a year, third-party sales began to soar, eventually becoming more than half of Amazon's total retail volume. Through smart adaptation and a relentless focus on efficiency, Amazon didn't just survive the crash. It laid the groundwork for what would come next. By 2001, the worst was over. And deep inside Amazon's engineering labs, something revolutionary was being built. Something that would change the company forever. A product that wasn't a product at all. It was a platform. Part 3. From Retailer to Tech Powerhouse, 2002 to 2012. The early 2000s were a time of transformation. For Amazon, survival was no longer the goal. Now it was time to dominate. Bezos and his team had learned from the crash. They knew that relying solely on retail profits was risky. To secure Amazon's future, they needed to innovate, to diversify beyond selling products. And so, in 2002, Amazon quietly began building something new, something the world had never seen before. Amazon Web Services. It started as an internal project. Amazon's engineers were tired of rebuilding the same IT infrastructure over and over. Databases, storage, computing power. So, they created a system of shared tools, modular, flexible, and scalable. By 2006, Amazon decided to offer this infrastructure to the world. The first public cloud service was born. Amazon S3 for storage. Amazon EC2 for computing. And with that, AWS was launched, a quiet revolution that would go on to power startups, Fortune 500 companies, and even governments. At first, no one paid much attention. But behind the scenes, Amazon was building the backbone of the modern internet. And while AWS was growing, Amazon's retail business was also evolving. In 2005, the company introduced a new program, Amazon Prime. For a flat annual fee, customers would get free 2-day shipping on millions of items. It was a bold bet. Shipping was expensive, but Bezos knew what he was doing. Prime wasn't just about logistics. It was about loyalty. Customers who joined Prime shopped more, stayed longer, bought frequently. By 2012, Prime had millions of members, and Amazon had a powerful moat. But Bezos didn't stop there. In 2007, Amazon unveiled its first physical product, the Kindle, a lightweight, digital e-reader that could download books wirelessly, no computer needed. The Kindle was an instant hit. It disrupted the publishing industry and gave Amazon direct control over digital book sales. Publishers were stunned. Bookstores were blindsided. Amazon had quietly become one of the most influential forces in global publishing. Then came Amazon Fresh, Prime Video, and Fulfillment by Amazon, a service that allowed third-party sellers to store, pack, and ship their products using Amazon's massive logistics network. It was a decade of relentless expansion. Amazon was no longer just a retailer. It was a technology company, a logistics giant, a publisher, a video producer, and a cloud computing pioneer. And all of it driven by the same philosophy: customer obsession, long-term thinking, relentless innovation. By 2012, Amazon's revenues topped $61 billion. The company had gone from garage startup to global force, but it was still just getting started. Part 4. The Global Giant, 2013, present. By 2013, Amazon had become a household name. Its iconic smile logo was everywhere, from browser tabs to cardboard boxes stacked on doorsteps. But behind that simplicity was a complex empire. Amazon was now a trillion-dollar ecosystem, one that touched nearly every aspect of modern life. Shopping. streaming, cloud computing, smart homes, groceries, even space travel. And at the heart of it all was the quiet behemoth, AWS, Amazon Web Services. What began as an internal project had grown into the most profitable division of Amazon. By the late 2010s, AWS was generating billions in operating income, powering giants like Netflix, Airbnb, NASA, and the CIA. While retail margins were razor-thin, AWS was a goldmine. This allowed Amazon to keep prices low, invest heavily in innovation, and outpace competitors. Meanwhile, Amazon's physical footprint exploded. It acquired Whole Foods in 2017 for $13.7 billion, a move that shocked the grocery industry and signaled Amazon's commitment to brick-and-mortar dominance. It also bought Zappos, Ring, Twitch, and PillPack, expanding its reach into footwear, smart homes, live streaming, and healthcare. Drones were tested. AI voice assistants like Alexa became household fixtures. Robots roamed warehouses, scanning and sorting packages with precision. And then, the pandemic hit. While much of the world shut down in 2020, Amazon surged. With stores closed and people stuck at home, online shopping exploded. Amazon hired hundreds of thousands of new workers to meet demand. It expanded its fulfillment network. And for many people, Amazon became a lifeline, delivering food, medicine, supplies. Revenue soared past $400 billion in 2021. But not everyone was cheering. As Amazon grew, so did scrutiny. Critics pointed to warehouse conditions, the relentless pace, the surveillance, the high injury rates. Workers protested. Lawmakers asked tough questions. Unions began organizing. Amazon responded with reforms, wage increases, and safety initiatives, but the controversy remained. Then, in 2021, after 27 years at the helm, Jeff Bezos stepped down as CEO. His replacement, Andy Jassy, the architect of AWS. Bezos didn't disappear. He shifted his focus to Blue Origin, his space company, and to philanthropy. His legacy? Complex, ambitious, historic. From selling books in a garage to reshaping global commerce and cloud computing, Jeff Bezos had built one of the most powerful corporations the world has ever seen. Today, Amazon is more than just a company. It's an infrastructure, a digital backbone for modern life. It knows what we buy, what we watch, what we read, what we ask Alexa at 2 a.m. It's efficient, convenient, ubiquitous, but also unstoppable. As the world continues to evolve, so will Amazon. AI, automation, international expansion, climate goals, healthcare, even space. The next frontier is already being written. This is if history tells us Amazon earned billions. From garage Amazon startup doesn't follow global giant. It creates a story of vision, disruption, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of scale. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel. There's so much more great content on the way. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. See you next time.